while. I'm now back at Fort Armistead Park. Checking out hopefully the final piece of the collapsed key bridge that they're about to pull up. It's a gorgeous day here on the Patapsco River. They're getting ready to pull this large piece up. Hopefully today, which is May 31st. Beautiful day. And hopefully we will be able to see them pull that huge piece of the key bridge up. Okay, and here's another viewpoint. I was just over there, and now I'm over on this little pier, getting a little different angle here. Looks like they've started to move that piece up. That's that big giant piece. As you can see, they've cleared out most of the debris, and obviously the dolly is gone. Check my other video for that. Dolly removal time lapse. I just see they got that thing hanging there, and I think the goal was to have it done by the end of May. So today's the last day in May. Out there is Fort Carroll, built by Robert E. Lee in 1850. Here is another more shot of the Patapsco River, which leads down into the bay, Chesapeake Bay. I tried to get here 2 or 3 weeks ago to film the dolly while it was still here, but the road to Fort Armistead Park would close for a long time. And I kept checking it online to see when it would be open. Then, like about a week or so ago, they finally opened it, this road to get down here. So I figure I better come now and at least get some shots of the final piece being hoisted up, taken out. Okay, there's where I just was on that little pier right there, which gave me that good shot. Now I'd just like to come down here and give people a different vantage point from what you're always seeing on TV. Seeing the whole area might give you a better idea of what's going on. Now I'm heading out on this little bigger fishing pier, get another vantage point. So let's check that out. So here I am. Here we are at this pier now. Let's zoom in here. Slightly different vantage point for y'all to check out. They're dredging. Looks like they're still dredging, but not really doing much else here. They got that thing ready to be lifted. But no activity right now. I think it's possible they're waiting for some large barge to come and sit by that next to it so they can hoist it onto that pretty big. You're gonna need a pretty big barge. You need a pretty big barge to put that gigantic piece on, because you gotta figure most of it is still underwater. And I was wondering, I don't know much about these operations, but I was wondering, why didn't they just, when they detonated the other piece of it, why didn't they just blow up the whole thing and let it fall into the water and let it sit on the bottom? But I guess they want to maintain as much depth as they can in this channel for the big container ships that come in. So they say it was, I keep hearing it's 50 feet and it's 35 feet. So if you have all that debris down there, yeah, it makes it like 30 feet, 20 feet, all that stuff sitting down there. And the larger ships, larger container ships, can't get through. They're almost touching the bottom from what I heard. The other thing is the point of impact is right there. Dead center in the screen is that big piece of concrete just sitting there. That was the other main bridge support or abutment, whatever you want to call it. Just like the other one there to the right, that's still standing. And I missed them taking that down. I never saw that on TV for some reason. I mean, it hit it pretty bad, but there was some left. It was a direct hit, but there was still some of it standing, and I don't remember ever seeing them knock it down. Next thing you know, it's gone, you know. But anyway, that's it. Point of impact right there. Wish I would have been here when the Dolly was here. There's some other interesting docks and piers down here near Glen Burnie, Maryland. They are letting some ships in. Things are starting to get back to normal. But like I said, obviously no large container ships. This again is just to give you an idea of the whole area. Let's get back over there, closer to the bridge. So I was here almost exactly 2 years ago, filming that large container ship that came through here. It was in the Fort Armistead Park video I did. Right up here we have the Channel 11 news channel helicopter. Skycan, or whatever it's called. They must know something's about to happen or something. Just waiting for them to hoist that big piece. Once again, another vantage point for y'all. See if we can get a little bit closer. Here we are, yet another vantage point. Like to take different angles, shots. This might be even a little closer, different view, see things differently. You can see all the cars that were parked up on top of this end of the bridge are gone. Someone mentioned there was a black FBI vehicle up there a few weeks ago. They're gone. The news helicopter's still here. Lots Lots more people have showed up at Fort Armistead Park, which tells me something's about to happen, but I just don't know what or when they're going to hoist that thing, the big piece. And right over here, something really interesting. An old vehicle that looks like has been rolled and left here. If you check out my Fort Armistead video, you'll notice this is a pretty junky park. There's trash all over the place. The city of Baltimore doesn't do much to it. You'll notice there were a lot of abandoned old boats, broken down boats, but this takes the cake. My goodness. Someone just rolled this vehicle down here and then they just left it here. Nobody comes to pick it up or anything. That's crazy, man. This is a crazy place, isn't it? There it is. There's a good vantage point for you. Okay, finally some more activity. Here we have a huge barge passing through. I was wondering if that's the one they're going to use to put that giant piece on to take it away. That's why I'm wondering, what are they waiting for? Seem to be waiting all day to hoist that piece out. Now, this barge seems to be just passing through. So, that's kind of interesting. Not quite sure where it's going. Why is it passing the giant piece? Where it should be stopping and hoisting that thing on there. I don't know what's going on. Your guess is as good as mine. Any comments? Let me know. And once again, there's that huge piece of concrete. I call it the point of impact, right in the middle of the screen. That is the other large support or abutment that which I didn't get a chance to see them take that away. I don't understand when they did that. It's gone. One day I turn on the TV and the thing is gone. Another smaller vessel coming through. Some type of tug or barge or something like that. Still not much going on yet. I can finally see it now. Way off in the distance, right in the center of the screen, is the Dolly. The infamous or famous Dolly. Just to the left of those three ship things sticking up, cargo things, whatever they call them, sticking up right next to it. But this is as far as my zoom goes. At least I got a little bit of it. sitting over there at the Seagirt Marina. Okay, here we have another huge barge coming through. Pretty long one. But nothing else going on. Not quite sure what they're waiting for. It's perfect weather. Well, I was able to drive over to a different area where I got a much clearer shot of the Dolly right in the center of the screen. Still looks a little far away, but still I'm glad I got it. A better shot without any obstructions. I'm right over here by these trains, these big trains that have been sitting here for since the last time I came here 2 years ago and shot these when I was shooting Fort Armistead. But there it is. It's a nice clear shot of it on a clear day. Well, it doesn't look like there's not much going on here today anymore, so I'm gonna call it a day. Probably come back tomorrow. Not seeing much activity. There is a barge I noticed behind that blue tugboat that has debris on it. There are some guys in a little dinghy boat right by that huge piece. It looks like they're surveying it, trying to figure out what to do. So I'm gonna call it a day. And thanks for watching. See y'all next time. Okay, here's a shot of this makeshift memorial for the poor guys that died on the key bridge. It's right on the road, the entrance to Fort Armistead, where I just was. And now I'm leaving, and I don't know if that's the actual truck that fell into the water with one or two guys in it that they died in, but it sure looks like it. But I don't know where they would get that. I don't know where they would get the real thing to do that. But anyway, just thought I'd get a shot of it. All right, thanks for watching. So sad. These crosses have all the names on them. They're like a bunch of nice guys. Wow. So sad.